Namaskara and welcome to the Stronger Men project. This is a very exciting day because this is episode number 1 of the School of Men segment of the podcast. This is an interview segment where I plan to bring on experts and achievers and inspiring people who have inspiring stories to share. And then, as a number one student of the school, I will grill them on your behalf and try to extract as many lessons as possible, get to know about their stories and experiences, and draw inspiration from their stories, which will help us to get different perspective of life, get to know about different areas of life, and also use those and apply in our life and do better in life. And today we are joined by a hell of a crazy man in his own right. We'll get to know why I'm saying this in a short while. He's a friend of mine and he's been a close advisor to me for a few months now. Let's welcome Mr. Veeranarayan Kulkarni to the show and get to know about him. Veer, thank you so much for joining today. Why
Hi,
don't you
Adarsh.
introduce?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. I just can't wait. I didn't even allow you to complete your sentence. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. You are always a high energy person. So
Thank
why
you.
don't you introduce yourself and let us know, let our listeners know what you do and a brief background about yourself.
Hi. Thanks for this opportunity, Adarsh. Uh, my name is Veeranarayan Kulkarni. I'm a resident of Dharwad for the last 10 years. I'm an engineer and an MBA by qualification. I've also completed my Masters of Science in Yoga. And currently, I'm the founder and CEO of Holistic Health Society, where we help holistic health coaches like yoga teachers, Ayurveda doctors, dietitians. I help them go online and I help them increase their impact. I help them double their income. So, this is what I do right now. And also, it's been great associated with you, Adarsh, where I am coming to your gym every day and bulging my muscles now. Just a little bit.
Yeah, Veer, it's
Day
an
by
honor
day.
to be associated with you, and you bring a lot of energy to the table. And thank you for being a close advisor to me and whatever value you have already added to my life. And yeah, I mean, let us know a little more about what do you do specifically as in your holistic health society.
Okay. It was year 2018. I was doing my Masters of Science Yoga, and I was also running a millets restaurant in Hubli, and I was also having an organic shop. So I would start from Dharwad at around 5 o'clock in the morning, go to take two yoga classes, then go to my restaurant, make sure that everything is prepped up, breakfast ingredients are all there, then go to my organic shop, make sure everything is there, and then come back home to Dharwad late night. And then I would not see my daughters. They would be sleeping by that time. But still, after this 14, 15 hours of hard work, I was not able to make money. I was not able to come out of the debt. So that is when I was thinking that even the holistic health and is good. We have to profess this. But many people like me, yoga teachers, dietitians, were not able to make their ends meet. So that is when I thought that let me help such people to become better holistic health coaches by going online and get their true potential come to light in this world. And that's what Holistic Health Society is all about. So we work at three levels. One is at the mindset level. We help them change that just working offline may not help you. You have to come offline plus online model. Other mindset issues like I'm not good at technology, I'm not good at speaking. We help remove those mindset challenges. Second is we help them giving those technology skills. And third thing is we handhold them so that they start becoming confident in front of the camera. And these are the three things that we are working with Holistic Health Society, Adarsh.
Yeah, that's awesome, Veer, because I also struggle with this as a gym owner and someone who is trying to bring about difference in other people's life. And what I think I miss is not having those business skills. even though my intention is right. Intention is to help people and teach them how to lead a fitness lifestyle, and teach them the proper way to exercise, and follow a scientific method. And yeah, I can connect with that really, because I have been through a lot of ups and downs in my own business, especially after COVID. It has been very, very difficult. And I can understand it can happen with people who are working in the holistic health realm. It's interesting that you brought this topic. You said you were running a millet shop and a millet restaurant, and seems like you had a good intention to, bring something healthy to people. Can you just share me what was your experience running your business, and what made you to shut down the business?
Okay, Adarsh, that's been a great journey with a lot of learnings. It was around 2014 that I came back from Singapore, where I was working with American Insurance Group in the field of project management. And when I came back to Dharwad, I wanted to do something which is meaningful. And one of the first few jobs that I did in Dharwad was I was CEO of a yoga and naturopathy hospital. In this
Okay.
hospital, I started seeing that many people who came in with a lot of problems, be it back pain or headache, with naturopathy and yoga, by the time they left after 10 days, they were a totally different, changed person. And I was wondering if it's so easy for people to get their problems resolved, why are not people doing this? Then I realized that it is not just about coming here for 10 days, getting your treatment, and then going back. The most important thing is abiding by it after you leave. So that was important. And many people said that, okay, had we known that if there is a place where we can go and buy such grains, or if, so that's the first thing that people started telling me. So that's when I started Millet Monk in Hubli, where we started selling millets. In fact, before starting Millet Monk in Hubli, I started Millet Monk in my car. I had a green Santro car. I would load all the millets in the dicky and make sure that I went by whatever orders came to me by phone. I would go to their home and deliver and ask them, how did your last millet meal? How was it? What was it like? Did it taste well? What is the feedback that you would want to give me? So this is how I would do. And then people would say that, okay, if there was a place where we could just go and eat millets, so that's when the thought of Spring of Health, a healthy millets restaurant, came in. So we started it in a small 3 bedroom house in Hubli. And then within a year, we expanded opposite Tatvadarsh Hospital with more than 2,000 square feet area. And so when I started doing Millet Monk and Spring of Health, which is an organic shop as well as a restaurant, both were going very well hand in hand. And I was taking yoga classes in the morning as well. So there was yoga, there was food, and there were grocery. So all the three were ticked off. And anything that is good, people take time to adopt. And
Yeah.
there was a lot
True.
of effort in marketing and letting people know what is millets and how this has to be done. So I'm talking this about 2015, 16, 17, where millets was still not in vogue. And
Yeah,
that
it
was the
was just
time
picking
when,
up at that time.
yes, yes, people were realizing the benefits of it. And at that point in time, it was going very well. And we were almost there, breaking even. We were just not going into losses. That was the time, the dreaded day, March 14th, 2020. COVID stuck us. And I was thinking that this will go for a long time. The best part is I sent all my employees and then said that we will come back after 2, 3 days if at all things better. Then as you saw, COVID went on and on.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good time to shut the shop because I was paying rent. And so that's how the business got closed. But the best part, what I felt was Shanta, an handicapped employee in my Millet Monk shop, she approached me saying that, Anna, can you sell this shop to me and with the brand name? And that was a time when I was so happy that she was now the owner of that shop. So that's been the journey of Millet Monk and Spring of Health.
Quite an interesting journey that you sold your business to your employee. Is it still running, or
Yes,
what's
absolutely.
the current
It's
condition of the business?
Yeah, Shanta, who is a handicapped lady who needs support, she drags herself on the ground or she walks by kneeling down, and she is now the owner, and she's been running it successfully for the last 2.5, 3 years now, and it's progressing very well. I'm so happy about it. It's still opposite Tatadashi Hospital in Hubli.
Oh, that's really, I did not really know about this. That's really awesome that it's still there. I thought you completely closed it and sold it off to someone else, and the brand got changed, and someone else is running a regular restaurant in that place. That is what I thought. But this is new to me, and it's good to know that it's still running. Um, and the common theme, what I hear is a lot of people got affected by COVID, and I was also one of those people, which which prompted me to go online and start building online business for myself. And seems like we have a lot of commonalities, common things than which I already know. That you were working in a corporate world, you have quite a bit of experience in different, you have worked in different countries. Uh, I think our listeners will be interested to know what prompted you to quit your job. You said you were living in Singapore when you left your job. Uh, what were the things that led to you quitting the job and taking such a huge, decision and risk? Because Dharwad is it's a very small city, and it's called as a sleeping city or city of retired people. This is not a place for an entrepreneurs. At least with the 5 years of my own experience, I can tell that. Um, and you should be a crazy person to do that. I am interested to know really what happened and what led you to quit your job and come back to Dharwad.
Very interesting question. So I worked with Wipro for close to a decade, and then I worked with AIG in Singapore, worked in around 10 countries. While we were sitting with me and my wife in 2012, we were just thinking, why were we in Singapore? We were in Singapore because I had purchased two homes in Bangalore, and we were paying the EMIs. And so the question came, once the EMIs are done, what should be our next step? The next logical step was that my next project would have been in US, and then another 3 years getting locked in there. So should we work for the third house or the second car? So these are the kind of discussions that me and my wife were doing. So that's when I realized that it's not all about us accumulating assets. It's also about living a meaningful life. So I was in Bangalore for 20 years. I studied in Bangalore in UVC, my engineering. But I thought that that cannot be my karma bhumi. My karma bhumi has to be a place where I can contribute to people's lives. So that's when we started looking at. So there were two cities that were there in the shortlist. One was Mysore, and second was Dharwad. And as my roots are from Gadag, I decided to come and settle in Dharwad. And just not to get tempted, I made sure that I shifted all my luggage from Singapore directly to Dharwad. Had it gone to Bangalore, probably it would have tempted me. And so I came to Dharwad here and then looked for a place and settled down here. So that's how it all worked. Now, if you look at the primary reason for moving from a corporate world to a place where I could give back to society was the sense of meaning of life. I was searching for it. Otherwise, it is a rat race in the corporate world. I just wanted to make sure that I come out of that orbit. And as you know, when the planets move around in an orbit, it's very difficult to come out of the orbit. There has to be an escape velocity. I thought moving from Singapore to US was a nice logical step. And by that time, both the home EMIs were done. I was debt free. And I did a back of envelope calculation, Adarsh. So then that time it was coming to around 22,500 was my monthly requirement for me to sustain life. So the employer with whom I went is that I will work with you for 3 days in a week. So give me 25,000 rupees. Those 3 days I'll work for you, and the rest 3 days I will think what should I do next. So that's how it all transitioned from being corporate to being in Dharwad. And Dharwad as such is a cool, calm place. even though it has got laid back attitude, it may not be the best to do your entrepreneurship. But I feel the view with which I came was to amalgamate both taking care of my social responsibility as well as spending good time with my family. I think Dharwad is the best place. If anybody of you are looking for a place to settle down, then Dharwad is the best place.
Definitely, I can vouch for it. That is what I feel about Harvard. Even though on a physical, in the physical realm of doing business and entrepreneurship, it is quite hard here because the population is small and it's always ever moving out population. Like a lot of young people, they finish their college and get out of here, go to Bangalore or Pune or Chennai to in search of jobs. But I love Dharwad. I have been brought up in Dharwad, and that is the reason I came back. I didn't want to come back. I was working in Germany in automobile sector. I really did not want to go back to Bangalore or Pune or Chennai because those are the automotive hubs in India, and that is where I could find job if I came back with a job. And like you said, something interesting. Uh, you were looking for some purpose in life, right? And why do you think you were looking for a purpose? Because you were, very successful. You also said that you had made property, you had two houses, and you had a very good job, and also, I'm assuming a very, very good future if you had continued there. It was safe job, safe route to take, and your life was almost settled. Then, what was the strong reason like for taking this decision? There has to be something which prompted you to take this decision.
That's a good question. So, Adarsh, if you look at my journey and your journey is almost the same. You came back and then you started doing something which you have not done in your life, opening up a gym, helping people become stronger. And in my case, it was to come back, and I was not knowing what I will do after coming back. I was totally blank, but I thought that let me come here. Let me start swimming when I have to swim. So that was with that intention I came in here. Now, Maslow's hierarchy talks about roti kapda makan as the basic needs that one needs. After that, you don't need so many clothes, you don't need so much of food to eat. In fact, you need lesser and lesser calories as you grow up. And entertainment, the mall culture, I was not a mall person. I was more of going to nature, going in the wild, doing cycling. So I was that kind of a person. So what motivated me was to look for a place which will support all these. And also, as we move from the bottom layers of Maslow's hierarchy to higher layers, is that we want to feel liked by people. We want to feel that our life is meaningful. So I thought these are possible in smaller cities, because in bigger cities you find people who are self-sustained. They can mend their needs, they can find out and then take care of their needs. But in smaller cities is where you feel people need guidance, they need support, they need hand holding. And this is where that transition happened from corporate world to being here in a small town.
Yeah. So you knew that you were looking for meaning in life, but you did not exactly know what to do, right? I mean, you just wanted to take a break and then figure out what to do, right? That's a really, really courageous step. I would have not done it if I was in your place, because
Very true.
when
In fact, at this point, I want to thank my cousin, Girish Nagnur. So, Girish, I asked this question to Girish when I was on a call from Singapore. My wife was also on the speakerphone. I asked Girish, in fact, Girish was also an IT guy who had come and settled in Hubli, and he was doing well. He was working with NGO. And so he's like a mentor to me. And I told Girish, Anna, what if I come to Dharwad and I don't know what to do? What will happen next? So Girish gave one very, very strong example. He said that you're going in a flight, and just imagine that you have a parachute. And when will you open the parachute? Will you open the parachute before you jump or after you jump? The parachute only opens after you jump. You cannot open it while you're in the flight. So the mind also opens up when you are when you are getting that situation where the velocity of the gravity is pulling you, that is when the resistance of the air opens the parachute. The same way, when you come into Dharwad and you settle down, when you see the opportunities, when you see the problems, then your mind opens up and you will know what to do. And I should thank Girish for that. And he did a fantastic job of counseling me and helping me take this decision.
Yeah, that's really, really the example he gave is um, really eye-opening for me too, because when you see there is always some fear when you also took a specific word in the initial initial part of this podcast, the rat race. And a lot of people, I think, a lot of men in these days are stuck in this rat race. And I know that a lot of men feel somewhat similar to you and me. They want some meaning in life, they want to follow some purpose, because at least from my experience, I even though I did well in school and college, I had no special interests or talents. And whatever job I was doing, I was just I was just surviving. I was just doing it for the sake of doing. I was just doing it for the sake of earning money. I was just doing it for to be safe. And I was just doing it for the sake of social norms. I don't want it to look as a failure in front of other people's eye. And fortunately, I got into fitness. Even though I was into fitness for almost 15 years, I never got results. But when I got into fitness in 2015, that completely changed my perspective. That was the first time I did something which was really interesting for me, something which I did on my own, and something where I put effort, and with a lot of passion I did it. And that gave me confidence that I could do other stuff also. I can learn other things and make something out of my life. And that also gave me an idea, because for a very long time, um, right from 2007, when I joined my first job, I felt I did not belong there. I always wanted to do something on my own, but since I had no interest and talents, I had no idea what to do. And for the next 10 or 11 years, I just went with the flow. I played it safe, and of course, earned good money and all. I was living in Germany. I had a chance to continue there as long as I wished, but I felt something was missing in my life. And I really missed being in Dharwad, or being in being around my loved ones, my relatives, and my friends. And something was always pulling me back, but I had no idea how I'll make a living out of coming back. Uh, and
In
I
fact,
think
one point that I want to mention here is, see, when a rocket is taking off, it has to take off with a certain velocity, which is called as the
yeah,
escape velocity, so that it goes out of the Earth's gravitational zone. And many a times, for people like me and you, and for many professionals, those gravity is the upbringing. Like my parents and your parents have always been salaried people. So taking risk is against their DNA. So they would always want you to tell that don't take risk. It might backfire. The other thing is, if you're settled earning good money, why come back to something which is not so great? So these are all things that hold us back, but we have
yeah,
to fight. And we have to fight. And these examples like these will help others to take some action, go back to their native, start contributing to making their places better place, so that India becomes a better place, so that India becomes a developed country faster than what it would have taken if people do not come back.
yeah. So true, Veer. It is always our own limiting beliefs which are holding us back. And just want to finish what I wanted to tell is, somehow I took that plunge and took that leap of faith and came back, and I'm perfectly fine. It's been about 6 years now. In a couple of months, 6 years since I quit my job, and I'm still alive and still able to provide for my family, even though I've not achieved the financial success I expected to reach, or achieve. But there are other things like there are unplanned things which will happen. Like COVID is a major thing which is unplanned, and I have come to believe that no matter whatever happens, if your intentions are right, there is always a path, and you will find the path. Even though, I have survived through COVID, and that paved a different path for me, and I'm on a different path now, and that is how it is. And I'm really grateful to a lot of advice when I got at that point of time when I was trying to make this switch. I was listening to a lot of podcasts like this, and this is one of the reason I have started this podcast, because I used to listen to podcasts at this time which were focused at men. There is one specific podcast which is called Order of Men, which I listened regularly, and it was specifically focused on men and issues men face in their life. And it has been really, really valuable in my life, and it has guided me through all the ups and downs so far. And that is one of the reason I started this podcast. And Veer, like you said, um, it is um, it is true that there is always this escape. Well, you have to work against the resistance, and that was also very hard for me when I started my business. Everybody was opposed to it, but then when you start seeing that the work you're doing is adding value to the people, uh, then it gives a lot of fulfillment. And the kind of response you get from people, the kind of respect and love you get from people, it is something invaluable, something much more than the kind of money we can earn by doing it. And one specific point I want to highlight here is adding value to people. I was completely directionless and purposeless until I got to know that success is all about adding value to other people, something which people need. Give them something which they need and which will change their life or make their life better. And that is when you can charge money and make a living out of it, and also attach a kind of purpose with it. Okay, so Veer, I would like you to talk about one more topic, which is which you have not mentioned, but I know about you, that recently in the last 1 year or couple of years, you did few things, like you had a bucket list. Uh, why don't you talk about that bucket list and let the listeners go crazy by listening to your story?
Okay, so before that, your journey has been very motivational, worth emulating, worth following. So you are a great motivation in Dharwad. You've started one of the kind of gyms that people would love to come, because I've gymmed in at various places, and this is one gym where I've been consistent for 3 months. I haven't been
Yeah.
consistent for such a long time. Probably 4 or 5 months is my record, but then I was not very continuous. Here I'm continuously attending the gym, and it's making a lot of difference in my positive attitude. So you are adding a lot of value to people whom you are getting in touch with, and you are adding a lot of value to this place called as Dharwad. Thank you so much. So
Thank
now
you.
I'll
Thank
talk.
you. Thank you so much, Veer. Before you continue, I would like to tell it is by design that you are stuck here for 3 months. It is by design, and of course, I did the work, but all the credit goes to all the online mentors I met earlier, and all the people who have impacted my life and my own experiences. That I was when I was in 10th standard, when I was 15 years old, that is when I first joined the gym, and I wanted, deeply wanted, had this deep desire to become fit and have a strong looking muscular physique. But things were missing at that point. That was no proper guidance or no encouragement. Still now, a lot of parents actually discourage their children from going to gym. um, and I'm grateful to all these life experiences, like um, if have you heard this, like if someone asks you, do you want to change anything in your life? um, People will say, like, I want to change some part of my life. I mean, that was not, the worst part of my life. I don't want to change. I want to change that in my life. But I would say I have been through a lot of difficult times, ups and downs in my life. mm, and I would say whatever I am today is I'm a product of my all my life experiences, people who have come and gone in my life, and that is what has made my life. And what I've done in the gym is I've taken all my lessons, whatever was missing when I went to gym, or lessons I learned from my mentors, and I have implemented. I've tried to come up with a system which the intention of the system is to add value to people and give them a system which they can stick to, and really get that transformation in their life. And thank you for acknowledging that. And now I'll let you speak about your bucket list.
Okay. So it all started in 2012 in Singapore. Four friends of four of my colleagues from India and from the same company. We were sitting over a cup of tea, and then we were thinking, what should we do such that we remember it for a lifetime? And somehow I don't remember who suggested this, but one of us suggested that let's do cycling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So this was in 2012, and we set 5 years as the time frame. So by 2017, we should have done that. So 2014, I came back. 15, 16, I was busy with all Millet Monk, Spring of Health. And then by around 2020 till 2020, I think in one of the cleaning up work that we were doing in the home, I got to see that paper where we had all written that we will do Kashmir to Kanyakumari by 2017, and we had all signed on it. And I said, "Oh my God, we had thought of doing this in 2017, and now it's 2020." So I contacted all my friends who were the four signatories on that, saying that why don't we do that? So one of them said that, "Yeah, ab to boode ho chuke hain. We have gone old with so much of pot belly. We can't do cycling now." So these were the reasons that came up. Then I realized that it's not going to work this way. So a year went by. I bought a cycle. I just thought of seeing whether is it really possible. Then I did a 20-kilometer ride, a 30-kilometer ride. I started getting confident. Then I said that I want to do this. I want to do the Kashmir to Kanyakumari ride, even if nobody joins in. And that's when I started practicing cycling in and around Hubli. I became a member of Hubli Bicycle Club. I thank all the members of Hubli Bicycle Club for having supported me. I started doing the 100-kilometer ride, then 200-kilometer rides. Then I did one from Hubli to Badami and back to Hubli, Hubli Anvati and back to Hubli. I did one ride from Hubli to Goa, which was 200 kilometers. And with all this, I started gaining confidence, but I was not sure how will I do it alone. That's when I asked my wife Purnima that can you accompany me in the car, and I will be cycling. So we took this up, and I was working with an organization called Freedom from Diabetes, where I was heading the Freedom from Diabetes clubs. And I approached Dr. Pramod Tripathi. I have great respect for Dr. Pramod Tripathi, who is the founder of of Freedom from Diabetes. And he encouraged me by sponsoring this trip. He said that Freedom from Diabetes will sponsor this. And what we did is we asked my daughter Amodini, who was seventh standard then, to also join my wife Purnima in the car. And we had Prithvi, another friend's son. He also joined. So Purnima and Prithvi were in the driving seat. Amodini would take care of greasing my cycle. And it was this year, it was this day that I was 6th of February 2024 that I was in Srinagar. So I was in Jammu last year. So it started from Srinagar. We went to Srinagar by loading our cycle on the car. And then we went to Srinagar. We started there on 4th February. And we did this ride from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, 4,000 kilometers over 41 days. And that's been a great experience for me.
Amazing, Veer. See, Kashmir to Kanyakumari is easy to say, but it seems very, very difficult and adventurous. And one thing that comes to mind is it's scary. It's really scary. Like you have to, uh, how long the distance is?
4,000 kilometers.
4,000 kilometers, that too on a bicycle. 4,000 kilometers on a car seems very scary, and a lot of commitment and a lot of time. And a lot of going through a lot of pain, even if you go by a proper vehicle, but you did it on a bicycle, and it's really really commendable. And outwardly, I can say there are very few people who can do this. And you set a great example here. And uh, again, I would like to probe a little bit here. What really prompted you to take this up? Because it is easy to make a plan like that. It is easy to cast a dream, but really bringing that dream to reality is something which very few people do. Can you share what was going in your mind, and why were you so crazy to take this project?
Okay. So doing the first reason was while we signed this paper in 2012, the reason was that we should remember this for the entire lifetime. There are many small incidents that happen in our life, and when we are at our 60th birthday or 80th birthday, we don't remember them. But there are few incidents in life which you would want to remember, recollect. So I wanted one of that. And as you rightly pointed, it is difficult. It is not easy, but there were other driving factors which made it easy. One is it was not about me cycling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. It was about spreading the message that diabetes is reversible through lifestyle change. That is when I started seeing that so people have changed their lifestyle, and they're now out of diabetes. They are healthy. They are cycling now. So I found this to be very inspiring to do this journey and give this message. If I were to do this in a car or I would take a flight, it wouldn't have been so impactful. The other two things what we did in this journey is, one is we said that we will avoid staying in hotels as much as possible. We'll stay at people's homes. We will consume the food they are consuming. And the second thing is that we will not have any bottled water. So we'll drink the water which our host is drinking. So these were the two things which made the journey very powerful. One is staying at people's homes. We got so much of love, affection, and we could share our stories. We could impact them to take up healthy life. For somebody who is cycling and telling, they would take it seriously rather than somebody who's coming by car and telling. So that was one reason. And second is that I wanted to see myself, whether am I the person who just talks, or do I walk the talk? Here, do I cycle my talk? So that way, I wanted to test my resolve. And through this, I got to know myself better, because 10 hours being on a saddle, that small seat, remember a cycle seat, is very difficult. In fact, it was so that 10 hours of cycling 100 kilometers every day, I would get so much of time to look back at my life, what worked in my life, what I could have changed, what I want to change in the future. If I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have got myself so much time. I also got so much time with my wife and daughter on the cycling journey. My daughter and my communication relationship become better because she was taking care of greasing the cycle, making sure that it is fit and fine. Prithvi and Purnima were making sure that I could get the adequate breakfast, lunch, rest. So it was a great teamwork. So all these criteria helped me to make sure that my dream of Kashmir to Kanyakumari has to become a reality.
Excellent, Virsi. After listening to your story, uh, I think this is the first time I'm listening this from your mouth. I had known that you had done this Kashmir to Kanyakumari ride, uh, and it was all about it. I mean, I really did not talk. We did really did not talk about it. I did not ask you how it was and what were your experience. And thank you for sharing this, because what lessons I would like to draw from here is, see, one thing you said when you started, you had never done it. I mean, I think you had not cycled for years. Is that
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay. So one thing you started, the start was important. You bought a cycle, you made a commitment. I think you spent quite a bit of money for your bicycle. You made that commitment. That was one thing I can say. Another thing is, you said you started doing it and you started practicing it, and you joined the Hubli Cycling Club, right? And then you got connected with people, like-minded people who are interested in cycling. you got, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of, knowledge from them. You got a lot of tips from them. And I think the journey also, the training part also was fun because you had people around you who are on this, uh, s- who had the same mindset when it comes to cycling. Uh, isn't that true?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Without
yeah,
that support system, I wouldn't have
yeah,
been able to do this.
yeah. And then you said something very, very beautiful that um, your daughter was helping you in greasing the cycle. So she also got to become part of this. So it's not only that you will be able to tell this story after you get old, but your daughter will also get to tell the story that she was part of this. And you said your wife was there and your friend was there. And it was all about teamwork, right? So what I can say is and also that you were doing it with a purpose in mind. You had a mission there, and when you start something with a strong purpose, something which is close to you, something which is which is important for you, that gives you a lot of energy. That is what I can draw from here. And when you start something with a mission in mind, something when you start doing something big, people will some or the other way people will support you. You will definitely find that support, and you are lucky that your wife was supporting you and your daughter was supporting you. um, and there is also one beautiful thing that you said that you did not live in lodges. You went to people's places, you ate what they ate, and you slept in their homes. uh, People who are strangers to you till that point of time, till the point you met them, right? And when you are doing with a cause and a mission, there are people who will get connected. People who are strangers, they'll also get connected, and that is where this mission is was mission was important, and the cause was important. Truly amazing and a beautiful story, Veer. So can you from your point of view, you said that you got a lot of time to think about your life, all the things which have happened in your life, or maybe you thought about what to do in your life. Can you just share few of the lessons or the major insights you got during this journey?
Okay. So, there's one more activity that I do every year to reset myself. That is, I do Padayatra, which is to Dharmasthala in Karnataka. The first one I did it in 2008, walking from Bangalore to Dharmasthala, a distance of 340 kilometers. So I keep doing this, and then this February 24th will be my 16th year of consecutive Padayatras.
Wow,
Whichever
that's
country
amazing.
I'm in, I come back to Bangalore or Dharwad, and then I start walking. So even in those journeys and this cycling journey, what is important is the time that I get to think about myself, my past. So what I realized whenever I think is that what could I changed while I was growing up? Looking it from my perspective, rather than blaming anybody, I would say that I wouldn't have procrastinated so much. I would have concentrated more on science and math. And now I take those changes that I could have done and see in today's date, what are those things I can change in myself. So it helps me to um, map it to my present day problems and the solution for the present day problems. Okay. The second thing is I relook at all the things that went well and all the things that did not go well. For example, I might have had a great quarter of sales when I was in Wipro. What made me get those sales? Or how I was able to do a good project management implementation in 5 countries sitting out of Singapore. Then I look at what were the ingredients of them being successful and then map it out to today's date and age as to what I will do, how I will copy my own success now and do it. I also look at some of the probably quarrels which I have had with my wife. What led to that quarrel? How would I have communicated it better to my wife if it were to be a discussion that I'm doing today? And so these things are, even though they look imaginary, but they give you a time of mapping those successes and those failures onto today's problems what I face. So that's been a fantastic first revelation that I got whenever I get time to myself. So like this Padayatra, we walk for 7 days. Every day we walk 30 kilometers to 35 kilometers. So 10 hours of walking. And especially morning 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., you are walking in the dark and there is only moonlight. Full moonlight is there. And then you are going with your own thoughts going in your mind. There are other 15, 20, 30, 40 people walking along with you. So these episodes get revisited in my mind. So that was the first thing. The second thing is when the learning has been that a powerful learning has been that you ask and you will get. For example, in our Kashmir to Kanyakumari cycling, there have been instances where we wanted to stay at a place and there were 3, 4 guests who wanted to come and they wanted us to stay at their place. So there was a fight amongst themselves as to where will Veeranarayan stay. And there were places like Bikaner where till 4 o'clock we did not know where are we are going to stay. But just one SMS, one message saying that I'm in Bikaner, I want a place to stay. Within half an hour, we get a place. And this actually, I have been teaching this to my daughter that you ask and you will get it. The problem that we currently face is that we don't ask. We expect that we may not get, and then we just keep quiet in our comfort zone. So these were two of my great learnings. One is looking back to my old life and what I would have done changing. Second is you ask and you will get it.
Amazing, really, really valuable stories. I mean, really, really valuable lessons. One thing is here you talk about the contemplation, going within you and um, assessing what all actions you have taken so far, um, what went right and what went wrong, and this you are doing it with the sense of self improvement, right? uh, with a kind of perspective of reflection, what you could have done better, or what you did well, and use those lessons so that you can uh, bring that in the forefront of your mind and use those lessons in the future to come. That's really valuable. One lesson I would say. The second one is ask and you will get. This is something a lot of people struggle with, and I also struggle with this a lot. When you want something and when you ask other people, most probably the worst thing that can happen is they may say no, right? And with your experience says that when you ask, there'll be more than one givers. Really, really valuable, Veer. One more thing I missed to ask you, which I got in my mind when you were telling your story. So you said that doing deciding something, planning something is different than actually going on and doing the thing. That will change something, change your own opinion and mindset about yourself. Can you talk a little more about that with all the experiences which you had?
Yeah. So when I'll take the example of Kashmir to Kanyakumari and my first walk from Bangalore to Dharmasthala, which I did, that was alone. I did not have any support. Uh, the third day or fourth day, my father joined in and then he took my luggage, but then I was walking alone. When you look at anything, it looks very enormous and big because that's something you have not done. It's the first time you are handling that. uh, Becoming a parent for the first time, you don't know how to handle your child. It's only through experience. Kashmir to Kanyakumari 4,000 kilometers ride was big thing, but what helps and helps you manage is cutting down, breaking down the bigger goal into smaller ones, and then making sure that you tick mark those smaller goals as achieved, and you would see that the entire bigger goal is taken care of. Like for example, in Kashmir to Kanyakumari cycling, every day I have to just think of the next day. that next day 100 kilometers, next day this is the destination where I have to reach. And once I break down the next day, then it is about 10 hours of cycling. Every hour I have to see that I have done that 12-kilometer, 14-kilometer ride. And every minute I have to just look at that pedal that I'm pedaling. That's it. So that way, breaking down bigger goal into smaller goals helped. Even in my first walk in 2008 from Bangalore to Dharmasthala, there were times when there were a lot of boils in my shoe and I couldn't lift my leg. In fact, the third day morning, while I sat down on an Indian WC for my toilet, I couldn't get up. My legs were so sore. But the only thing was that that evening I had to reach that place. If I were to look at breaking down the bigger ones into smaller ones, it makes it so easy. That's one lesson is what I would feel would be worth taking a note of, that whenever something seems to be very big, just break it down. Just make sure that you're done with it. In fact, I'm now listening to the book called as Atomic Habits for the second time, and I'm surprised that whatever I've been doing is there in this book. So that way, breaking down makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, Veer, that is one book that has also changed my life and contributed to how I coach other people when it comes to physical fitness and general transformation. Uh, it is all about these taking these steps. It is all about the system you follow. Of course, the goal is important. Setting a big goal is important, which will actually and having a purpose and a mission is important, which will energize you to that will energize you to take those initial steps. But what really matters when it comes to your journey of achieving big things is each step you take. It's all about taking one step after the other, and this
Exactly.
is something valuable I learned from this book also, like that the author talks about once you set the goal, um, you set the systems, like what you really want to do to achieve that goal, what steps do you want to take, right? And
Very true.
he also talks about a very special thing is if you want to be fit, you have to become a fit person. You have to start acting like a fit person. And what does a fit person do is he has a system, he exercises regularly, he takes care of his diet, and he takes care of his routine and maintains a generally healthy lifestyle, which is something sustainable, which he can follow for a long period of time. And that is what you need when you want to achieve your fitness goal, or for that matter any big goal. You just need to have that system, something which you can follow and sustain for a long period of time, and which will keep you engaged and you know take you towards the end goal, whatever is that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I can uh, I cannot help but draw a conclusion that anything and everything in your life, whatever you want to achieve, has the same basic set of principles. And if you apply those principles, that will take you to your goal. This is what has been my own learning, and I am happy to learn that you have also drawn the same kind of lessons from your own experiences. And one more thing I have to mention, that you turned out to be crazier than what I thought initially, because I really did not know about your Padayatra. I thought it is some Padayatra you are doing, and maybe you have done it couple of times, but 16 times is really amazing, and it seems like craziness has been your habit so far. Um, Again, thank you so much for sharing all your lessons. Um, I think we have crossed the limit of the time limit of this podcast, whatever we planned earlier, and now I realize that there is so many things I need to ask you, and I definitely want you to come back again in future. I definitely want to talk more about your Kashmir to Kanyakumari adventure, and a little more about you know. Um, freedom from diabetes. But since you brought it up, can you just quickly talk about what is freedom from diabetes and what kind of work you did there and what kind of impact it is creating? Because I think this is something valuable that this information can help a lot of people.
Yeah, even if it touches one diabetic and then he wishes to change, then I think this podcast has done its job. Freedom from Diabetes is an organization that I respect a lot. I worked there for 2.5 years. I joined as an exercise expert after completing my MSc Yoga. And then I changed around 5 to 6 roles within the organization within 2.5 years because it was so challenging and it was growing very well. Uh, Dr. Pramod, who is the founder of Freedom from Diabetes, always says that lifestyle disorders are because of lifestyle challenges, because of wrong lifestyle. If you take care of the lifestyle, the disorders also disappear. So it's about reversal of diabetes or remission of diabetes. Many people uh, play with this word, but then what it is just think of this way. There is a car that is going uphill, and when it comes starts coming back, you say that it's in the reverse mode, right? So the same way, if your energy levels are decreasing, if your medicines are increasing, if you are urinating a lot, so then this is the car is going this way. Then once you start fixing your lifestyle, it starts coming back, as in your medicines are reducing, you are getting better sleep, your urination problem is taken care of. So that's reversal of diabetes and the symptoms that are there with diabetes. So this is done through simple things like changing the food that you're eating, having better knowledge of what to eat, what not to eat. These days, there are so many suggestions that come on YouTube, on WhatsApp, but you need to follow one mentor, one system, give it 1 years of time and follow it dedicatedly. And because of that, more than 15,000 people have reversed their diabetes and they are free from medicines. In fact, the fun part is towards the end, once you have reversed the diabetes, there's something called as jalebi test. So you're given two, three, four, five jalebis and you're made to eat. And without medicines, your blood sugar is normal because your pancreas, your body has become so strong from within that it is able to take care of so much load of sugar that is coming into it. In fact, the next step is glucose tolerance test. Glucose tolerance test is you are given 75 grams of sugar and you're made to eat that sugar. And then even after 2 hours of not having medicine, you should be out of medication. And even after 2 hours, the blood sugars are normal. So that's the epitome of reaching a stage where your body is capable of taking those shocks that come in through high sugars. So, Freedom from Diabetes is doing a great work. I suggest the viewers to look at so many free resources available on YouTube, which are available from Freedom from Diabetes and many other organizations. Just start doing those smaller changes, understand the basics, start working on your health. Your identity will change. Like Adarsh was saying, if your earlier identity is that you're a diabetic identity is that you will go into a wedding, you will say that no to sweets. From that you will change to a normal person, or you will be a gymmer, you will be a yogi, you will be a cyclist. You will not say that I am diabetic, you will say that I'm a cyclist, I'm a jogger, I'm a runner. So these kind of changes will happen. Your identity will shift from being a diabetic to somebody who is non-diabetic, or who is a who owns a gym body. So those identity shifts will happen. So if I were to conclude this, lifestyle disorders are because of the first word, which is improper lifestyle. Change it, and you will have a new identity for yourself.
That's really humongous. Like it has affected 15,000 people. I can see it's not a number, it's not just a number of 15,000 people. I can see how it might have impacted their life and the life of their family, right? And, it comes with a lot of pain, lot of, you know, um, lot of money is being spent on the disease and lot of heartburn and issues that come with the lifestyle issue like diabetes. And I'm pretty sure that person went on to um, change himself, and not only that, his family members will also have changed, and probably it might have prevented a lot of people from becoming diabetic. And diabetes is something which could be, passed down to, the, through genes. It is kind of proclivity to have this diabetes, that a person who is diabetic, his children may also suffer with diabetes. And by, creating this awareness and teaching them the right way of, eating, and right way of life, I think freedom from diabetes is doing a humongous job.
Yeah,
And
in fact, this what you mentioned, Dr. Pramod and Dr. Neil Bernard, who is a very well-known personality in this field, he says that just think of a gun. Okay, this gun is there. It's like you, and your children will inherit this gun. But to fire this gun or not, it depends on your lifestyle. Even though you have diabetes, it is there in your genes. You're passing on this gun to your child. But then whether will your son fire it or not depends on what kind of lifestyle he or she adopts. So lifestyle adoption is a personal choice. Genes are there, but then to turn it on or not is our personal choice.
yeah, true, true. Like, if you train your children to use the gun and use it responsibly, and use it, and also teach them when to use it and when not to use it. That is what, that's kind of debate that goes on in US, but not here in India. Guns are not so common, but
So
I
it's
can
more of a
understand.
corollary to saying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the gun is there, but if you don't
yeah,
load the gun, it will not fire. So that
yeah, yeah.
way, if you change your lifestyle such that the gun is not loaded, so then it will not even fire.
Yeah, yeah, true. Like, it's if I want to put it in the scientific way, like, genes are nothing but these are the operating system of our body, and what kind of application you load. Application is your habits and your lifestyle, and what you do in your life, what you eat, what is kind of activities you do. That is the application which you're running on your life, and based on that application, the operating system does its job, and the natural response of your body is to become diabetic if you're not following the right kind of lifestyle. Yes, we're it's good that I brought this up, and I'm happy that I didn't miss this part. uh, so that, listeners who are listening to this, they may have diabetic people around them. They themselves may be diabetic, and this might help, end up helping them. Like you said, even one person gets benefited from this, then I would consider this podcast as a success. So that brings us to the close, which is, I would say, inevitable because we are short of time. Veer, I would like to part away from this podcast by sharing some of your um, insights of life, I would say, or your advice to men who are they may be stuck in the rat race, or they may not be fulfilled in their life, or they may be struggling with finding a purpose in their life, or they may be doing well, or uh, they may be doing fine, but they could do better. What kind of advice or takeaway points do you like to give to the listeners?
Okay, I'll give only one. I'll share my thoughts rather than it being an advice. Start donating your time, donating your time to something which you resonate with. It could be donating your time to a charity, to an organization, 1 hour a week on the weekend. So that starts opening up your horizon. You're not stuck in that rat race, just thinking that this is life, this is how I need to go. So when you broaden your horizon, many possibilities start coming, many opportunities start coming in your way. So make sure that 1 hour of the week is for somebody else. It's not for yourself, it's not for your wife, not for your kids, but somebody else who's not part of your family. And you are contributing that 1 hour, you're donating 1 hour of your time, of your week. And that, I think, would be the start point to escape the midlife crisis, that many professionals who have done their who've been working for a decade or 2 decades might be facing. So just take this one step of 1 hour every week, and things will start opening up for you. The world is will be yours then.
Thank you so much, Veer. That's an amazing suggestion. Um, I would like one more thing from you. There may be people who are going through tough times. There may be people who may be feeling their life is meaningless, who may be feeling stuck, or who may be feeling, unfulfilled, and they may be in a lot of pain, or they may be thinking like there is no way out of it. Can you give one advice to those kind of people?
Okay.
Because
So
what you talked about is giving your time to other people, giving donating your time and effort to some other cause, but there are people who need help in their own life, like they may be struggling in their life. Can you give one advice to those people so that they can come out of whatever ditch they are in, and find more meaning and purpose in their life, and start adding value to other people?
I'll just relate this to one of the examples, how the same advice of 1 hour, donating 1 hour will help. It was, we were traveling through Rajasthan, and in one of the places, we were hosted by a family who were living in a one-bedroom house. And it was very cold, I think 8 degrees in the night. And we were given the bedroom where we could have slept. And we were very comfortable, cozy. And in the morning when we wake up, we ask the host where were they sleeping. And I was really moved when they said that all the four of them were sleeping on the ground in the kitchen where it was very cold. And it moved me because they wanted us to see comfortable. They gave up their bedroom to us and they were sleeping on the ground in the kitchen. Now, when you look at people like those, you feel you're much more fortunate than them. You feel moved by the sacrifices that they do for you. When you look at people who are not so fortunate, you feel that you are more fortunate. So, if there are two lines, how do you make one line shorter? Either by rubbing that line or extending the other line so that this line becomes shorter. This line looks like shorter. So start contributing that time and effort to others, and then you will see that you are doing a great job. And the meaningful blessings that you start getting will make you motivated to come out of it. In fact, just look at my life as two sides of one coin. So right now I have shown you that coin where I'm confident I have done so many things in life. But in the month of January, I've been struggling with procrastination. I was not able to do many things which I thought I will be doing. So that was the worst side of the coin, which I've not shown yet. But I know that life is a sinusoidal curve. There will be ebbs, there will be troughs, there will be highs, there will be lows. But the only thing is that if you're at the ebb of the life, or if you're at the lowest point, the only thing that can happen is a high point. When it is dark, the next thing that can only happen if you wait is the morning and brightness. And don't think happiness will be there forever. If you are happy, if it is bright, it is going to be dark. So accept life as it is coming, and then make sure that you wait for the next change that's happening. Just hold on. Just hold on. Keep contributing. Keep moving. On a lighter note, Johnny Walker said, keep walking.
That's really beautiful way you put it. So the gist of it is like when you're at the bottom, the only way is going up. Thank you so much for sharing that lesson. Veer, last but not the least, if people want to connect with you and you know look into your work, what you do, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Adarsh. I can help holistic health coaches go online. I can help if anybody has challenges with their health. I can connect them with the relevant holistic health coaches. So, Veeranarayan Kulkarni is my name. You can search for me on Facebook. You can send a direct message. And my email address is veer, V-E-E-R, @veerkulkarni.com. You can send me an email as well. And we will be in touch, and I'll help you whatever your challenges are, how to come out of that. in whatever little that I have known about life, and in whatever little way I can contribute, I will feel myself fortunate to do that. And thank you, Adarsh, for giving this opportunity and ability to connect with your audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Veer. I'm honored that you came here. You spent so much time here, and really shared all your lessons and experiences with our listeners. And I can vouch for this that Veer is a very, very helpful person. He is very energetic, as you may already know now by listening to his voice. And if someday this comes out as a video, we'll also see him, in a video, and you can see he's very energetic, and he's very authentic. And believe me, he has helped me a lot. I mean, when it comes to these matters, he has helped me. And yeah, Veer, I'm really honored that you were here today, and gave your time to me. And I'll make sure that all your contact information, your email and all, I'll link it in the description so that people can access it whenever they listen to this episode and they feel like they can get connected with you.
And I
Again,
also
thank you
want to
so
thank
much.
you, Adarsh, for being my fitness coach, guiding me in my fitness journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Veer. That's really humble of you to acknowledge me. Um, Thank you again for joining in, and we'll see when we can come again on this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.